Hi, Paula.
Hello, Els. How are you?
So, yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Um, Today's topic.
Today we're talking about acknowledging the speaker.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, and yeah, it's about recognizing their hard work, their vulnerability, their humility, um, it, just what they've just shared. It might be something in their share that they've shared with the group, and you might respond by saying, "It seems it took a lot of courage for you to recognize your mistake." If they've brought up something, like um, some recognition in their share. It might be that you've learned something from them, or they've learned something. You might say, "Thank you for talking about whatever it is. I haven't looked at it that way before." So it might be, that they've shared part of their process, their learning process. Or you might appreciate their use of a principle and just acknowledge that at the end, that they've brought in a principle, which has sort of shown their growth. It might also be that um, it's something that they value, or it could be that you're acknowledging a change in attitude and their attitude, a personal transformation, a change in perspective that you've noticed, and or maybe that they have let go of judgments that they've perhaps had, that could have come up in their share. Um, you might acknowledge some forgiveness that they've spoken of. Um, Also, maybe a choice, that they've chosen love over fear, and that they've brought that up in their share, and you might sort of um, yeah, just acknowledge that. So um,
So
yeah,
how would an acknowledgement sound?
if they've shared something where they've turned something around, you mean with love over fear.
Yes, but how would it sound as a facilitator? What would you say?
Um, just by acknowledging it, that I'm grateful that you've shared this with us.
Okay, okay, okay.
Thank you. So it's something that perhaps we've learned,
Yeah.
or connected by. And yeah, and I guess it depends on the situation and their share. And and I know that not everyone needs acknowledging, and that's the dilemma. That's the dilemma I have. And I know that you'll shed some light on that, Els. So I'm looking forward to your share.
Okay, thank you. Well,
Mm.
I would say the bare fact that somebody shares, uh, in that way you could see that that's up for acknowledgement. Just the bare fact that somebody shares anything. And when I, as a facilitator, listen to this story and I think, oh, they changed something, I acknowledge it, or thank you, or you've changed it. Well, I'm judging. I give that weight, and then comes the next one and shares a story. And the next one says, I'm still hooked in it and I don't know how to escape it. So, what do we do then?
Yeah.
What do you say? Oh, you're already 3 weeks in this stress and you still, no, you wouldn't say that. So, when I say that's you've done it well or you've done it good or thank you for sharing such enlightenment or whatever, and you don't um, have this capacity to be as thankful for the one who is still in the hurtful position, I would say don't. Just don't, because it's a judgment. You judge that as good, and you say, "Oh, it doesn't work out there." So I would always say a thank you as a as an acknowledgement. So it would be listening from the heart and not thinking about what I hear and judging what I hear. I would say, thank you for what you have shared. And it doesn't matter what it is. So then it stays totally neutral. It's then there's a neutral base in this group. And I don't have to come as a participant next time. I think, well, uh, that one got acknowledgement because he made such a leap. Now I will find the story to get that acknowledgement also. So I wouldn't do that. I would say focus on listening from the heart, with the heart, and focus on non-judgmental listening. And when you listen non-judgmental, you can ask yourself, when I listen from that position, is there a need or is there a necessity of talking?
Mm. Mm.
Or is just being present enough to let the story come in and just let it work out the
Mm.
way it does without commenting it, because acknowledgement is always commenting. And then guideline 3 says, being accepted as we are makes it easier to accept others. Being accepted as we are, even if we make a mess of it. Uh, can you accept me? Can the
Yeah.
facilitator accept me even when I make a mess of it? Yeah, when I would have done it very well, they would say, "Oh, thank you for the leap you made for your progress." I
Yeah.
wouldn't. There's
Yeah.
nothing to progress. There's nothing to do.
Mhm.
Can we see each person as whole and not defining them? And then guideline A says by their appearance, mood, behavior, or circumstance. And I would add, or whatever they are telling or they are sharing. Can I just see them as whole
Mm.
and just acknowledge the fact that people are there, that they came, that they share and acknowledge it. That would be my idea. And of course, sometimes uh, um, maybe there comes a sentence from your mouth, but I wouldn't. I because I've seen people do this, and they were concentrating on what was being said, and then writing down to bring it back, in the
Yeah.
in the conversation,
Yeah.
and they just didn't listen. They were
Yeah.
busy
Yeah.
with their mental thing, just
Yeah.
to
Done
to
that.
bring it back in the conversation. So I would say learn listening.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, Els, so you would thank each person after they've spoken and before moving on, and just, yeah, or would it depend on the share? So you would thank the person just for their share. So each person would sort of get the same thing, and then you would move on to the next
Yes,
person.
yes, I
Yeah.
would,
Okay.
I would, I would not comment anything
Okay.
what
Yeah.
people have said, so that it stays with the owner,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that nobody takes off with it. That I haven't said that was great, and to the next one, not
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
anything, and that the third thinks, oh, I have to tell a story that the
Mhm.
facilitator says it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not appropriate.
No.
It's
No.
not. I would say it's not appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's judgment, isn't it? If you're going to
Yes,
say
it's judgment. Yeah.
good job, or well
Yes.
done, or anything like
Well
that.
done. Oh, you
Yeah.
can come back
I
here. Well
know.
done.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
learn a lot from you. Oh,
Yeah.
have you forgiven? Oh, very well.
Yeah. Oh, you're
Yeah.
not so good. Or
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes we just chew on an
Yeah.
issue for half a
Mm.
year or so. And
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
well, chewing for half a year needs
Mm.
acknowledgement.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Listening for that long too. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
well, it's
Okay.
everybody has to find their way, but when you come from judgment, when you acknowledge, you
Yeah.
better can seal your mouth and say
Yes.
nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Paula. See you
Good
next
job.
time.
Okay.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.